visit FKF office and Garissa Sports Academy office, our brother Mr. Noordin. So thank you for welcoming us here today. And we would like to know, because the people outside there, plus those people who love soccer and football, the sporting activity, and we know that you are the CEO of Garissa Sports Academy. So we wanted to know what made you to start this organization for the Garissa Sports Academy. Secondly, what is your age limit or age category for sports academy, and how, if anyone want to enroll either a football team or maybe perhaps an individual, so what are they supposed to do? And maybe the fourth, what kind of maybe mission do you have when you are starting this activity, and the kind of perception, is it positively changing or not? Is it positively changing the community perception on football issue, or is it just that maybe it's your own thing? So maybe give us more detail about that.
The idea that motivated the Garissa Sports Academy comes from some years back. I think around 2007. I have always been selecting players to go and to national talent scouting events. Unfortunately, we rarely get players who are fit for selections. Reason being, football has some four main components: tactical, technical, physical, and psychological. Some of the important components have not been built properly, and our players normally have a delayed development. They start training very late. If you go elsewhere in this country, players start football training, for example, at a young age, 6, 8, organized training. Culturally and socially, here we have a problem whereby football and sports in general is considered as a backward thing, anti-religious or irreligious and stuff like that. So the first time these guys come and train about issues of football properly in a team is when they're in high school. And even there, the young players are being trained by unqualified, either teachers or other people. So, and there is a reason why in schools we take our children to school and they are trained by qualified teachers. So once a kid is being trained by unqualified coach, he cannot be at the same level with those who have trained coaches. So I came to find out there's something we are doing, but we are not doing it properly. Unfortunately, one person cannot take every role. At that particular time, I've taken other roles, but I've identified that problem is there. Now, after many years, I felt that the most important part of a footballer is at the foundational level. So I've decided to start training kids at a young age. How you do it is always difficult. So I've decided to partner with certain schools, certain primary schools, certain secondary schools, because when those schools leave primary schools, they need a pathway, they need where to go next. And then after high school, when these kids leave high school, they have another program of under 23. These are now kids outside school, whether they are at home or the university or colleges. Then from there, we'll see how we can have a program whereby we can have a league, a team participating in the national leagues. So that at least from here, they may have where to go to. I have two incidents where I had teams in Division 1 and in NSL. They were both unsuccessful, but I have enjoyed the period because I have learned a lot from it. I know who to rely with and who not to rely with. I knew the problems that took me, what were the problems that made that team to collapse. The main problem was lack of infrastructure in Garissa. We, in both times, we were based in Nairobi. Now, basing around 30 players in Nairobi, putting them in a gated community, hiring a field, hiring the ambulance, hiring the security, hiring the ball boys, that thing has been very, very expensive. So it's very expensive, business. So it will not work. So what we have decided, we are not going back to that area until we have an infrastructure in place in our own county. But before we get the infrastructure, we must get the players with the technical, tactical, physical, and psychological ability who can compete at that top level.
So maybe we can say what you have said, the mission for the academy, is the main reason why we, as a county, we lack either a player or a team that's participating at the national level. Like let's say FKF, yes, Premier League, yes, maybe National Super League. Those are the reasons. And
yes,
maybe you want to correct.
Yes,
those
you
problems.
see, if we want to improve the education sector in Garissa County, do not expect the police officers to come and do the changes. If you want to improve the health sector, you do not expect the teachers to do that. I know if things have to change here, I have to play my part as an individual and even collectively with other stakeholders. So this is our problem and we will solve our problem, however long it takes. That is my mantra.
So thank you. Maybe perhaps there's a question for another day, but maybe I'll ask you what happened with the FC Wanderers.
Yes,
I
think I've answered that.
You once created and it is the National Super League, but that's another day. We'll have that question, inshallah. So what happens? There's those upcoming events at national level. One, we have the Chapadimba.
So before we move to there, sorry.
Yes.
Now the Garissa sub-county has under 15, which is the children at primary school.
Yes.
We have under 18 players in high school and under 23, all right? There's one thing that for the first time in my life, I'm very much motivated. I'm motivated by the young players. I'm motivated by the parents. I'm motivated by the teachers. I'll give you incidents.
Yes.
For example, I trained Garissa Primary. The first flagship program is at Garissa Primary. I started with Garissa Primary because I'm very biased to Garissa Primary. That has been I'm an alumni of Garissa Primary. That has been my school. Of course, I have so many friends in that school, teachers, some who even taught me.
Yes.
So it was easy for me to sell the idea to them. And the head must have been my friend. When I started with Garissa Primary, those kids that I'm targeting are not class 7 and 8. I'm targeting 5 or 6. All the players I have there, most of the players I have there, have their own soccer boots. And they're dressed well. So we normally train from 6 to 10 minutes to 8.
So soccer boots, are they coming with the soccer boots?
They're coming with all the
you buy for
equipment.
them?
No, they come with the equipment.
Yeah.
And that kid does not have money to buy soccer boots.
Yeah.
So he's being helped by his parents. The parents are very supportive. They train from 6 to some 15 to 10 minutes to 8 before class starts.
Yes.
We don't want the academy program to interfere with their classes and their whatever. One day, a mother was carrying a baby at her back. She was also holding another one at her left hand. She met me at the field. She told me about her son in class 6, 7 who has this football as his hobby. He goes to the bowler and plays football every day. She pleaded with me to put him in my academy. A mother. That thing was very motivating because during our time, it was very difficult to play football. Yes, people have had other issues, bad perception about football. But now that one is changing. That one has really motivated me. I think last week.
Maybe perhaps before people were focused on much on libraries. I think
not that only the whole perception about football. You know what we have been doing? We have been using football as a behavioral change. People don't know what we have been doing as coaches. I know of incidents whereby young players have been using drugs, and we have actually dictated them through what they love to stop what they call involvement in those harmful substances. Yes. So I know what I've been doing, and I know how it worked. But now, initially, I know of a guy who is a Tablighi guy, a sheikh. He withdrew his player from a team I had. He said the thing is bad, blah, blah, blah. The kid ended up using harmful substances. He was even suspended from school. He had so many issues with him. In 2-3 years, he brought the guy back to the team. He told me, he apologized, and he told me he was wrong. And I was right. When this kid was playing the game, he never had this problem. It is him now who caused the problem. But when somebody is using so many harmful substances, there's nothing you can do. He lost his fitness. Unfortunately, there's nothing I could help him with. But now you can understand the parents.
And all the behavior changes.
Yes, everything's changing. The other incident is the headmaster of Garissa Primary called me a day or 2 days ago. The under 15 the kids, my under 15, 13, 14, have asked him to look for a friendly match with other schools. So he called his counterpart in Boys Town. The kids in class 5, 6 that I picked personally were kids who are young, 13, 14. But there are people of that same age in those classes. So the team Boys Town brought up were people who were older than the age bracket these kids were. 16, some of them were 17.
Yes.
The headmaster felt it's very unfair that these young kids cannot play with those ones in Boys Town. But the kids insisted no, they can play with them and beat them. So they played and they won by 2 goals. So the headmaster called and appreciated my effort.
Good.
So there are some feedbacks that we are getting
which motivates and
that is really motivating. I know something tells me I'm doing things. I'm doing things.
Because of those courses you are doing.
The right
it is
way.
helping.
Yes.
Behavioral changes.
Yes.
And also to motivate you to do
Yes.
more about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now on the issue of
the upcoming
event, there are 2 upcoming events.
There's Chapadimba and Talanta Hela.
There is Chapadimba and there is Talanta Hela.
So maybe you can tell us
The
far Chapadimba.
The Chapadimba one is the Safaricom one.
The registration is going on. How many maybe teams have already registered with the office? So what the deadline?
The Chapadimba
Yeah.
is a Safaricom program. It is annual. It was supposed to be annual.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not. I think the last time we had Chapadimba was 2018-19, somewhere there.
Yes.
And the reason is that Chapadimba, the last one, that was played regionally. I think 2019, 2020. It was played regionally. It has not been played nationally. Reason because there was a corona outbreak and all the activities were stopped. You know that?
Yeah, I know that. Corona.
From there was issue with the federation. There was some tussles here and there, the federation being banned, an interim committee being whatever, FIFA banning Kenya. There were a lot of issues. So there has never been Chapadimba for so few years now. Now that all cases against the federation is gone,
Yeah.
FIFA has restated Kenya back to the map. This is the first Chapadimba we have. And it will start with Western Kenya.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as was planned initially, Garissa will be played around August. But we are talking to the concerned people to see if we can have the Garissa starting a bit earlier. Yeah, so that one we do not know when Chapadimba in Garissa will start.
So far, how many teams have registered with
The registration in Garissa has not officially taken off.
Okay.
The only registration that has officially taken off is that one of Western region. They are the ones who are starting. Their deadline was on 31st May. Every region have their own deadline. So Garissa registration will officially commence once we announce.
Okay.
Yes. So right now, people have just picked their forms. Some of them have even filled their forms, but nothing has been submitted to us because it's too early to receive forms.
Forms still available at your office?
They're online. They are available online.
Available online. And the hell, how is that?
On Talenta Hela,
Yeah.
I sat in a committee of 7 instructors who were coming up with the initial arrangements of how this thing should be played at the grassroots level. Then it has been developed further and further. Unfortunately, no one has so much information about it. One thing I know, the counties were also asked some information. They might have given the number of teams they think can play at their counties. They might have even given some budgets. But I think what the Talanta Hela are doing, they are working with the county and the federation on the ground. The federation and the county will be the ones who will be running the programs at the grassroots level. That information on when this thing will start, which regions will start what time, where will the forms be received and submitted to, will come once the program is being launched by the president, which will be soon. I don't have the date for it, but the president will launch it soon.
They will maybe, according to the information we have, they will launch on Friday.
Yes, there's a possibility.
Yeah. So when they launch
But
Friday,
the reason as to why I say we do not know,
yeah,
the government activities, sometimes there are things that can come here and there.
yeah, yeah.
They can change anytime. This thing was to be launched a long time ago.
Of course, yes.
So they're working on that. They will launch on Friday.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But we do not have proper information. I think after the president launches, a week or something like that, or so a few days, we might have some more information. Or even at the launch, the president might give us all the
Yeah, of
information.
course. Even more.
Just like the Chambadimba when they were launching.
Okay. Maybe just to wind up, for football to progress and for discipline to maintain and for teams to also to prosper, we must have a qualified, trained coaches in place. So in Garissa, maybe perhaps at your desk, how many maybe coaches do we have? And if we have any, how many are they trained? How many are trained? And again, if they are trained, how many? Because I'm sure there are different categories of lacing issues by the federation and also FIFA. So and CAF. So the kind of lacings they have, is it FIFA standard? Is it CAF standard? Is it at a federation level? So can you just tell us or mention maybe 2 to 3 individuals that we have, specific coaches that are qualified?
I am a Football Training Federation instructor and a FIFA instructor. My work is to coach coaches. Luckily, among the counties I have coached includes Garissa County. I have coached around between 50 to 60 coaches in the past in two separate scenarios. And all those coaches have a CAF B license. Those are the qualified ones. The ones that coach and do not have papers are more than that. And then of the qualified coaches, majority of them now are not active.
Those who are
Yes. Yes.
the negative.
Yes. And you can understand why, because at this level of ours, these coaches do not are not engaged in a
How many has the lesson?
50 to 60. 50 to 60.
50 to 60.
Yes.
In Garissa.
Yes.
Garissa.
Yes. I'll share with you the photos of them taking the certificates.
50 to 60.
Yes.
They are trained
Coaches.
coaches.
Yes.
That's good.
Now, majority of that, where the problem is coming from, majority of that are now not active. And because the coaches at the club at this local level are not paid, they do voluntary work. So when somebody does that voluntary work for a while, he will go and seek other activities that will add resource to
So is there any levels of now lesson? Because we understand that maybe
the lowest
we have C.
the
D,
lowest is
yeah.
D,
Lowest D.
followed up by C, CAF C,
Cow.
and then we have CAF B, and then we have CAF A as the highest. Anyone who has previously done C, A can do B. Anyone who has done C can do B in a year or two.
So for you to start, you have to start from D.
From D. Anyone who wants to take coaching course
Yes.
can start from D.
D.
We wanted to have the D after Ramadan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we could not get someone to sponsor it. There's someone we initially talked to was ready, but he could not prepare himself on time, so we decided to wait till the league ends. But I think the first thing that might come is the CAF D.
So for you to get sponsorship, what do you need for this training to happen? What do you need? What kind of budget maybe you need, or maybe perhaps support?
I think around 200, 250K. Around 200K is okay.
250,000.
Because what will happen here,
Yeah.
number one, you have to pay the trainers. 2 instructors will come and they will coach, will train the coaches for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Now is the federation not now chipping in? Federation?
No, that's not. The work of the federation is managerial, is to manage, it's not to sponsor. The work of the federation is to manage, not to sponsor.
So in 50 to 60 now trained and licensed coaches in Garissa.
Yes.
In which category do they?
All of them except one are still in CAF D. They have not pursued a further course.
All of them then.
All of them in CAF D. They have not pursued another course. Then we have one who is CAF C.
One is FC.
Yes.
Yes. Who is this?
He's called. He now works in Wajir. He's called Nasser. Nasser Mohammed. He's now in Wajir. He has moved to Wajir to work there.
Now Nasser was coaching which team?
Nasser Mohammed has been, as a senior player, has played up to NSL. He has been with my player. He played for NSL, even not the Wanderers, he played for NSL. Now he is now coaching a team in Wajir, I think. I can't remember the name. Since he moved to Wajir, and he's been employed there as a nutritionist in the Wajir County. I think he's the only one with CAF C.
Yes, CAF C in Garissa.
Yes.
The rest they fall under C
The
and D.
rest, they fall in CAF B.
So now it's all because of financial issues. That's why.
No, well, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
You see, for you to have a class,
Okay.
you must have that number who are willing to. We can look for sponsors.
Okay.
So in CAF D it's easy.
Yeah.
Now in CAF C, the individual is supposed to look for other areas. Let's say most of it happens in Nairobi, in CAF C and B, whatever.
Yeah.
So when there's what do you call a course?
A course. That's
Of course, it happened in Nairobi.
Yeah.
He's the one who's to go now
Okay.
and sponsor himself.
Because I saw in Tarakaniti and other counties it was happening.
No,
C,
it was
D and
I don't think it was happening. See, I think in Dharakani there was D.
was D. Yeah, it was D. Nairobi was happening.
Nairobi C, B, A happens
Yeah.
in Nairobi because in Nairobi they have so many clubs and it's easy for other people to come to Nairobi and take part rather than you going to Kisumu.
Yeah.
Nairobi is a bit central, you know.
Yeah.
So it's up to these people to go to Nairobi. If it happened in Kasarani, you know, register. If there are payments, make the payments because from CAF C and going up and above, you have to go and do your own sponsorship.
Oh, fine.
Yes, it's just like when you go into university or college.
So thank you very much
Yes.
for that. Maybe now referees. How many referees do you have? Registered referees.
We have
With
big
the federation.
problem. We have big problems.
Is there any training for referees again?
We have big problems with the referee.
Yes.
We had trainings with we have trained referees around 20.
20 referees.
Unfortunately, those ones who are active are 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Some indiscipline issues have chased the referees out of the field.
Mhm.
Only few stubborn ones have remained. So before we train the referees,
Yeah.
we first have undertook to make sure your kwamba the ground is safer for referees. Make sure that every referee is safe, everyone who have undertaken the training and who is being issued the license is comfortable to go and officiate, is safe to go and officiate. We will not do referees training now until we are sure that everyone who is trained will be ready to officiate games. Yes.
Okay. So for these 5 or 6 referees, are they actively involved in sports now?
Yes, we rotate them
Mhm.
at the sub-national level.
So is there a lesson for them after being trained or what?
No, they get a license. Unfortunately, that's not my department. I can't talk more about it. You know, the coaching one,
Yeah.
I'm more acquainted in the coaching because I'm an instructor for coaches. I'm not an instructor for referees. So sometimes I can say things that are misleading and I don't want to go that path.
But they still go undergo the
Yes,
coaches
they
training,
go on.
like
They undergo coaches training. I think their training is 5 days instead of the 2 weeks.
So now is this 5 to 6 referees? Are they recognized and listened?
Yes, they are trained referees.
Okay.
They are trained referees.
So maybe thank you very much for that brief interview. We appreciate, and maybe thank you for doing also the good work.
Thank you very
Because
much.
I'm sure, according to the stories now you have been telling us, a life evidence story on the mother you have been talking about. It's a motivational one. Yeah, and also the behavioral changes and also perception.
I forgot one incident.
Yeah.
The under 15 kids, I told the captain to, if he finds out a talented young player in the school,
Yeah.
he should draw that attention to me. Now one day there's this young player who came at his own and he wanted to be part of the team, dressed well with his shoes, whatever. I jokingly told him other relegation at you don't know what. I just wanted to say, no, they don't lie. Okay, I called the captain and asked him whether he knows this guy has the talent that we require.
Yeah.
The captain told me he's good, lakini shida yake ako na kisirani kidogo. Then the kid, instead of denying the kisirani,
Yes.
he told me other kisirani was coming. So it's, you know, even that negotiation skills,
Yeah.
that issue of someone not in denial,
Yes.
he knows he has this problem,
Yes,
he has
it's
this
problem. And he's ready to change.
and he's willing to
Yeah,
change.
he's ready to change.
One of those things are inspiring.
Yeah, very inspiring.
Those are inspiring.
So what's your parting shot for maybe sport fraternity for Garissa people, and maybe the perception that you have against an office bearers? You know, sometimes when you have an office, a big office like this, you know sometimes people talk a lot. And people maybe perceive you with different now intentions, with different, you know, and islands. So what are you telling?
We come from a community
Yes,
that must always talk.
of course.
Even when we meet our greetings, scour on my work, and
Ah,
they must talk.
they want stories.
We cannot stop them talking.
Yes.
Personally, I don't care what happens outside, what I'm doing. What I care about is what I do. What I do in the field, what I do in the office.
Yes.
I know I'm doing that. The people who I'm connected with, the players, the parents, the teachers, they know, and the feedback I'm getting is superb. On those other ones, there's no way I can convince everybody. I will convince people slowly, just like when we meet here.
Yeah.
But what I matter a lot is that I do what I think I should do. Anyone who is probably willing his child to be trained, who believes, because we don't want to start from scratch. We have an opportunity of starting this thing from class 1. But to say the truth, if nobody can teach ECD, that level, there are certain people I'm not trained to teach those young kids.
Yeah.
So I started from at least the basic, where people have some few basic skills of components. I started from 5 to 6. But if I see an exceptional player in class 4 or even in class 3, I can put them into the program. So if you know your kid is into those programs, you can tell me. Even if it is that we move them from the schools they are to schools that have this program, we will do. Because it's difficult to overstretch yourself, and you see you will also have, because there's a question you ask about the coaches. The academy itself now requires, because of its program, requires so many coaches. And right now, because we in the first phases, we have very few coaches. We don't want to overstretch ourselves we have very few resources. These programs require so many balls, require so many cons, beeps, blah, blah, blah. So we don't want to overstretch ourselves. We want to start, after we know this, in this school, that when this thing has worked well, then we can take this program to the second school. We don't want in a situation whereby we start from in 4 different schools or 5, 6. We will end up doing nothing. So we're going slowly,
Yeah.
and we will reach
Maybe in 2 seconds.
Yes.
I just want you to briefly look at the camera and give a message from your office to the people and to the sports fraternity and to the leadership. So, of course, the leadership need to provide support for the sporting activities within within the county.
Yes.
There's so many people who need support.
Yes.
Yeah. So in a minute now, give us.
And we have not. Okay, this is Garissa Sports Academy. Garissa Sports Academy touches mainly on 2 sporting disciplines. We have football and athletics. Unfortunately, we have not kicked off the athletic one, but it's in our system. We have picked athletic because we found out most of the people representing Garissa County in athletic competitions are the players who are actively engaged in football. So we felt there's no need of just donating our talents to athletics without partnering them. So we decided to put them in one umbrella, both soccer and athletics, under this academy. And we have different age groups, age brackets for different athletes and players. So far in football, we have under 15, under 16, and under 23. If you know your son is in those age category, and it is within your belief that he fits, he has the talent to be part of this group, please reach us. We are based around the provincial headquarters, the former the regional commissioner's office, and opposite Bokordero's house. We have a big office here, and this office should be working for the community. It's free of charge. We are not asking you to pay anything, unless if you are too generous that you want to give back something to us so that we sustain our programs. So far, we are knocking on several doors for partnership, and the closest we have come for partnership is Udgul Foundation. We will talk about the partnership later on, but in camera, and I confirm that in one way or another we are in partnership with Gom Foundation, but we have not put anything in writing so far. But we are also knocking other doors to see how we can sustain this academy.